on the next episode of Drankin Partners.
Yeah, but they're looking for love in the wrong places. Wookin' Panub and all. You gave me that. You never heard of that? Eddie Murphy?
No.
Wookin' Panub and all the... Okay, man. You're going to have to Google that.
You're listening to Love, Life and Liquor, a Drankin Partners podcast. If you like beer, food, sex, and talking about badass kids, then this is the podcast you've been waiting for. Now, here are your peoples, Mareshah and Dom.
Hey, it's myself, Dom, and Mareshah.
Hi.
Before we jump into what we got going on, what's the word? What's the news? What you got going on?
So I just started a ballet class.
Okay.
I know he laughs every time
How's that going?
It's going good. I just had my first class. I am sore. It's a lot. I knew it was going to be hard, but I didn't know it was going to be that hard.
So what is it? Is it just like, do you have to wear a tutu to this class?
No, because we're adults. So you can wear athletic wear.
So you're out there in yoga pants doing ballet?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's very unnatural movements. It's movements that you would have never just done before. Like with some other types of dance, you know, it feels like intuitive.
Right.
Ballet is not like that, at least for me.
Huh.
Like it's very like tell the brain to tell
that you
the
have to
foot
do that.
to do this because you have never done this movement in your life. So I have no muscle memory, no like, oh, okay, this is like that.
It's not like twerking.
No.
I'm just wondering.
No. But I like it. It was definitely a good workout. I just finished my last 2 classes.
Bang. So you are graduating.
Yes.
Hey. That was anticlimactic as hell. Okay. Well,
But just put a sound effect in there or something.
I'll do just that.
Graduating magna cum laude with a degree and go yourself from Drankin Partners University, Mareshah Dickens.
So ballet class and you are graduating. That's pretty big. I, on the other hand, have a whole lot of nothing. The day that we actually started recording this, I started the class. But this is my second to last class, and then I myself am done as well. I'm so over this. I'm over school.
And then we should go on a trip.
Yeah, the boy said that we're going to the beach. That's what he told me.
Oh, I did tell him that because we're going to Galveston.
Oh, okay. He was making it sound like we were going back to Disneyland, Disney World or something
No,
like that.
I made
to
it
go to the
clear. I was
beach.
like, we're going to a Texas beach. It's not the same as a Florida beach, but
So it's a trash beach.
it's a beach.
I mean, it looks nice online. That's where everybody goes out here, right?
Yeah, because that's what we have.
You just got to deal with what you have.
Or, you know, South Padre and stuff like that. South Padre looks really pretty.
It looks nice. It'll be
I would
the
like to
first
go
time.
there, but I've heard Galveston is kind of flat and brown.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
it's just not what I'm used to. It's probably more like how Keesler's Beach is. You know how we were like, look, kids, there's the beach. They were like,
hell no.
oh,
Okay, well, I guess we'll find out. Find out as a family going to the beach.
for Juneteenth. So
Oh, special.
maybe that'll be a Juneteenth episode.
All right. So today we are talking about dating, something that we don't necessarily know about at this moment, but considering the fact that you and basically me by default watch all these dating shows, right? So it just made me think like, damn, is dating really that out of control these days, right? So then it got me to thinking that maybe I need to look up some of this information and find out what the deal is. Then I started, calling friends as well. I looked up the almighty Pew Research, and it says as more Americans turn to online dating and the Me Too movement leaves its imprint on the dating scene, nearly half of U.S. adults and a majority of women say that dating has become harder in the last 10 years. Do you have any friends that are single, or most of your friends at this moment currently old and married?
They are married. They are not old.
because 40 is not old, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's another episode, but one friend who is currently not married. She was
Right.
married before.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole different level in itself.
Yeah.
It said most daters say that their dating lives aren't going well and it's difficult to find people to date. 75% say it's somewhat difficult and 25% say it's somewhat easy to find somebody. That's a whole lot of damn people that say that they can't find somebody to be with.
Well, I think it depends because I didn't see here where it says like what their goals were. Like, are you looking for somebody to marry or have a long-term relationship with?
Right.
Or I feel like there's always somebody to go to dinner with or whatever. But
Yeah, but ultimately when you're dating, isn't that the end state?
not for everybody.
Really?
I didn't look it up on the Pew, but
On
I
the
feel
Pew.
like a lot of people nowadays, from like what I hear, like marriage is not their desired end state. I always knew I wanted to be married, but some people want to be Kurt and Goldie.
Yeah, but I mean, them motherfuckers have been together for like 50 years. I mean, I know they're not married, but at the same time.
Right. But some people, they want to be in a long-term relationship, but
Yeah.
not necessarily get married.
Well, some of the things that people said that were kind of ruining relationships, long distance relationships, debt, and voting for Donald Trump.
That's a deal breaker.
Top list of relationship deal breakers.
I'm proud of you, America.
Says lives far away. 51% said they definitely probably would not date somebody who lives far away, compared to 49%. So I mean that's
Definitely, probably, maybe.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
I mean I get it.
Do you do?
No. First of all, I mean that's what we did, okay? People, we did long distance relationship, but at the same time, I can understand why somebody would not want to do that because you're in a long distance relationship and you're not around this individual every day, so you probably feel like you're not even in a relationship at all. Dig what I'm saying?
No. I don't know. I feel like if you have a connection with somebody and you feel strongly
Right.
about somebody, I don't know if you remember this, like when we were dating and I was like, I don't want to let something as trivial as distance get in between me and the person I'm supposed to be with.
Right.
So if you know that it's supposed to be your person, but you're like, oh, you live in this place, I live in that place, like, too bad. Like, that's something that's overcomable.
Is that
that
a
a word?
I don't know if that's
something you can overcome. It's surmountable, not
right.
insurmountable.
But what I'm saying is, I think that's few and far between. I don't
It's
think
not optimal.
I don't think that's
but like
most
I'm saying, if you made a
people.
connection with somebody
Right.
and they just happen to not live where you live, I'm not talking about 90 Day Fiance far.
All right, Bong, check it out. So, what is that show that you watch with Megan Good?
Harlem.
Okay. And she was a teacher, she was a professional, et cetera, et cetera. And then she was with the one dude, and then the one dude was doing what? Was he like
He's a journalist,
He was
I
like
think?
like moving to Paris or something like that. Right? And she
Oh, her first.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a chef.
he was okay, so he was a chef and he was moving to Paris, but she didn't go with him because obviously she felt like her career was kicking off, but at the same time,
And
He
she
lived too far away.
regretted it. She regretted it.
yeah, but it was later in life though. I'm just saying that.
Exactly.
I mean, at the time,
Because it was something stupid.
don't most people want to wake up with the person they're in a relationship every day
Yes.
instead of
But
FaceTiming this month? I'm just saying.
so what did we
I'm-
do?
I'm not talking.
When we
I'm
were
not-
like,
oh,
tired
my
of this.
Goodness, she is. She don't keep bringing us up. I'm talking about people in general.
We are people. We're general people.
Do most people think like that? Do you think that
No,
most
they
people
don't,
would be
according
willing?
to the Pew, because
according to the Pew,
I feel like they don't want to
51% of
work
people.
at it. Like that is,
You think they don't want to work at it, or
yeah. I mean, it's not easy.
it's pretty even. It's pretty even. 51% to 49% said they would, and 49% said they would not.
But 67% say it's hard to date. Out of all the people in the world who might be your person, you think they're just going to live where you live?
So it's like, what do you do though? Do you stay in a long distance relationship, or do you pack your shit and you move to where they're at?
Eventually, with a commitment. Don't just pack up and leave. Y'all been dating 2 or 3 months.
Got it. 49% of people said they definitely or probably would not stick with somebody who had a significant amount of debt. Is that a deal breaker?
I think it depends on what the debt is. Like,
Does it?
most people have student loans.
Interesting. And then I think the other side of that, in terms of dating, folks kind of look at digital, what do you call those things?
Dating sites?
Yeah, dating sites. Damn, I sound old. Like, oh. So I asked my mans. I'm not gonna reveal his name or whatever, but he's in his 40s.
Let's call him John.
He is recently divorced. He has a child who is older.
She's grown. She's out of the house.
There you go. Grown, don't live in a house. He said it was harder for people that are mature to date a lot of times because most folks are coming out of a long-term relationship, and for at least one of them, they had built a forever mindset, which makes sense because, as you're growing, if you're married at one point, then obviously you didn't plan on getting divorced, things of that nature. So he said you start to settle in and find your lanes and pockets within that relationship. Then shit happens and that forever time frame is shattered and you have to move on. He said at one point he felt as if he had to reinvent himself. Those are just comforts. He said not what they used to be in your 20s and early to mid 30s. He said by this time a lot of life has happened between most of you, and that even at this point in your life you can also expect to be a step parent. He said, so it no longer becomes about you and just that individual, becomes about you, that individual, and potentially their children as well. I guess, I don't know if necessarily if younger folks, millennials, whatever, have to deal with that stuff. So
Probably not. I mean, when you're early 20s, not as many people have kids. Like he said, when you're this age, you've maybe been married in a long-term relationship,
Right.
probably have kids, if that's something that you want. From his story that we know, he's had significant trauma.
yeah.
That's going to change who you are. So people who are younger, hopefully they don't have that as often. I mean, it happens in younger people too, but life been lifing. So,
But I think the biggest thing that young folks have to deal with, they're all about the digital. It's kind of funny because the first time that I learned about how Tinder worked was through one of the dudes in the unit. And we were sitting at a unit dinner and he's swiping through everything. And I was like, damn, is this really how dating works? Like legit, you just hop on this app. I'm sounding like an old man for real, but I just thought it was crazy that my man just hopped on his app and he was like, look, you see this chick? He was reading through her little profile. Boom, he swiped. He hit the next one, swipe. Like he literally swiped through like 100 of these things. He got a couple matches and then he linked up with somebody that night. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember back in the day where I used to go to the mall, you carry a little pen or a pencil in your pocket, and then you would do what we call booking chicks. I'm about to go to the mall, book a couple honeys. So you carry the little pen, you see a couple, you'd be like, hey girl, you know what I mean? You holler at them real quick, you get their name, bing, get a little napkin, write their number down, you get back to the house.
tell her to page you.
You pay, right. Page, you give them their own little code, and then you talk on the phone, and then that's it. Like if you wanted to see that individual again, and obviously you had to, for me, I had to, hop on the bus or whatever and hit the mall. I feel like that was real organic back in the day. Face to face, you actually had to talk to folks. Nowadays, it's like swipe. Let me blow your back out.
Yeah, I think it's weird that people nowadays, they don't give out their phone number until after they've been like on their first date. So they meet on an app, they go out, then they decide if they like each other. Then they're like, let's exchange numbers.
The number you've called is disconnected.
Because folks ask me, would you ever let your wife go through your phone? There ain't shit on my phone except sneakers and Ralph Lauren. Like legit, if you go through anything on my phone, that's pretty much, all there is. She picks up my phone all the damn time. It's unlocked. There's nothing on it. So it's not a big deal. But a lot of folks be like, that is an absolute deal breaker. You pick up their phone, motherfucker start sweating.
Right. I thought that was weird. What is the number? It was saying that people who are not married or in a serious relationship would give their password to their person they're dating more frequently than married people or people in a...
Oh, Really? Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Because that means somebody's doing dirt.
You don't have my password.
You have a password on your phone?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen a password on your phone. I order shit on Uber Eats all the time. But that leads me to believe that something foul is afoot. With that said, have you ever gone through my phone without me being around?
No.
Would you even tell me the truth on that?
No. But I haven't done it.
Oh, my goodness. That is absolutely out of control to me. Oh, 71 fun date ideas in 2022. Some of these were kind of dumb.
Yeah, they were.
You know, I don't know what dating was like, you know, for you when you was out running the streets and shit. But
It was a lot of Ruby Tuesdays and stuff like that.
is that what it was about back then? Oh shit, I'm about to kill him.
I mean, yeah.
Ew.
I'm just trying to think, like, I normally had, like, a boyfriend for, like, a year or two.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it just gets kind of like,
This guy's stale.
let's go to the movies, let's go to the mall. And then when I didn't have a boyfriend, but I went on dates, it was weird.
I was going to Ruby. I mean, I'm not going to act like Ruby Tuesdays isn't good.
I have a good one for just when it comes time for the bad dates, just say Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, shit. So basically, we're trying to get you folks, squared away. If you're trying to date, if you're trying to, do something new, make pasta.
Sure, why not? But no, because I do stuff like that all the time. I'm always experimenting with.
So you don't think of like if we made pasta together, like you'd be, you know what I'm saying?
Well, if we did it together, it'd be different.
Like if I taught you how to make gnocchi or something. You ever make gnocchi before?
No.
See, I don't want to say I'm low key a goat with the gnocchi skills, but you didn't know I knew how to make gnocchi?
We've been together since 2010, and you never mentioned
that I knew how to make gnocchi.
It's 2022.
Yeah, I know how to make gnocchi, man. Yeah, I'm all right with it. Let's see. Axe throwing. Is that what you want to do?
No. I feel like I'm going to throw my shoulder out.
Don't we have one of those places around here?
Yeah, there's just quite a few. I just feel like...
That's just not a thing that you want to do. Yeah, I get it, man.
You know I'm accident prone. I feel like I'm going to get hurt.
They say dates get it popping at IKEA.
Meatballs.
Let me see. I don't think I ever went to an IKEA until I was with you. Matter of fact, I don't think I went to IKEA until we got here. I didn't realize IKEA was that big.
When I was in Maryland, we used to go, it wasn't even that far, but we'd like make a day of it, go to IKEA, get some meatballs, because IKEA is not,
Wait, hold on.
With lingonberry sauce.
You and a dude or just you?
No, like me and Jamie Powell, or like Jackie, or like any of the girls.
Yeah.
We would be like, let's go to IKEA, because IKEA is not like Target. You walk in, you go to this aisle, and you walk out. Like you have to go through IKEA. And they have the good meatballs.
But y'all didn't plan on really buying anything. Y'all were just looking and y'all wanted meatballs.
Well, we would get a couple things, maybe like some plates or something like that.
Okay. I mean, that's
but
cool.
Everything's like all cute in there, and like you get ideas for.
Yeah, have you ever been to IKEA with a dude other than me?
No.
I mean,
I probably wouldn't take it to IKEA that I wasn't living with, and I wouldn't live with a man that I wasn't married to. So
I don't know. I think some women may take him to
unless
IKEA.
I needed him to help me put together something, like coming to IKEA to get this bookshelf, and then you're gonna come to my house and put it together.
Put this silly mess together. IKEA furniture is the absolute worst. So what else do we got going on? Decorate a space. I'm not about that. I've already done that with you, and I can honestly say that I don't like it. I don't like painting walls. I don't like doing none of that. Or the fact that we spent all that time painting the damn wall, and then you paid some dude to come through and paint it again.
Because here's the thing, America, or wherever you might be listening from. It just wasn't looking right. Like we painted, and then like a couple of months later, like it was kind of looking ashy, and it's a really dramatic color. It's like a dark blue, like a navy blue. And so when the light and stuff is not hitting it evenly or whatever, like you could see in the paint, it was looking like ashy on the wall, like something was coming through.
So basically we did a shitty job and you just need somebody to come fix it.
Yeah.
There you go. Try skydiving.
No.
Throw a mini party.
Yes.
According to the article, it says that you can try a kids theme party, a luau, a 90s costume party, or something the two of you make up if you want to expand it into like a double date territory. So if you got some friends, you know, whatever, somebody a couple that you actually like, they can come over, you know what I mean? You can drink a couple cocktails, hang out, play some games, things of that nature. Sounds kind of fun. Do we even have friends like that? I mean, I don't like people, so maybe. No, I'm just playing. Even though she's giving me the face like, no, that's true.
He's very particular about bringing people into the house.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, people are weird, man. You just never know. It's like I feel like it's always my experience that you link up with folks and you think they're dope, and the next thing you know, you find out they're like Jeffrey Dahmer and company, and you're like, next. You know what I mean? So it's like I gotta take applications, you know, for a couple friends to come in the house. I mean, if you're awesome, you know, hit us up. You know, we can hang out, play Uno or something. Okay, well, that's pretty much out there for you. If you want to check out that website, there's a lot of stuff out there. marieclaire.com. Basically, I'll just put the link down in the thing and you can click on it. Let's go ahead. You know what? Bang. Shitty dates. Shitty dates. Before we go into yours, I will, you know, my man's that we had talked about earlier, and he talked about some of the troubles that he had while he was dating. I asked him a question. I said, hey, man, what is the worst date that you have ever had? And he said, son, have you ever been stalked before? Like legit. He said, she is a physician at a major healthcare system. He said, we dated for about a month. We had a disagreement, and based on what she was telling me, I said, you know, I have some things I need to think about, so I'm going to need a little time to figure it out. The next day, she was calling me and texting nonstop. I told her I needed time. I went out for drinks with some coworkers after work one day, and once again, calling and texting nonstop. She asked where I was. I said, I'm out. She wanted to know where I was, and I wouldn't tell her because at this point, she was the last person that I wanted to see. She's like, well, I'm driving down, so you need to tell me where you at. I said, nah, I'm good. Next thing I know, I get a call from my daughter telling me she's at the house and is pounding on the door. My daughter's freaking out. I didn't want to go home because I knew it wasn't going to end up well if I showed up. I told my daughter to lock all the doors and windows and don't engage with her. I told this chick she needs to leave or I'm going to have to call the cops. She sat in my driveway for over an hour waiting for me to show up. And I said, what the hell did you do to this woman? Sir, you had to rearrange her insides in order for her to be acting like that. And this was only after a month. Blew it out. That is crazy.
That is crazy.
Why do women act like that? Or I shouldn't say why do women act like that, because dudes do dumb stuff too. What I should say is, why would a woman act like that?
Maybe, so this is what I'm thinking. She probably had this scenario in her mind. Like the fact that she was letting him drive her car and everything like that. Like she's probably thinking like, this is going to be serious. Like we're going to be together. And, you know, I don't know if she's interested in getting married or whatever, but I think a woman normally wouldn't act like that and do things like that unless she thought that. And I think women a lot of times try to prove like they're wifey material. Yeah. By trying to act like what they think a wife would. So like, oh, you can have my car. You can do this. You can do that. I should be able to show up whenever I want to.
But 30 days? My man said a month. And she was already banging on his door knowing that his child was in the house. Is that wife material, ma'am?
But okay, let me play devil's advocate. I'm letting you drive my Mercedes.
Yeah.
My big body.
The big, okay.
You can't even tell me where you're at?
First off,
I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate.
He may be driving the big body, but I don't think that justifies acting.
What I'm saying, she might feel like
banging on somebody's door.
I have showed you my level of commitment
by driving a car. That's not a level of commitment. That's real material.
Can I finish? I'm just saying, maybe she's Like, look, I'm showing you I'm all in. You want my car? You want to stay in my house? You want to whatever?
Yeah.
You go ahead. And then I ask you where you at. And you be like, I'm good.
But this was only after an argument that they had, though. So and at that point, he said, look, I'm going to need a tad bit of time to think about this.
Like I'm saying, we're doing all this stuff. Like we're acting like we've been together for all this long time. It was all good just a week ago. Now we had this one argument and you're like, oh, I don't know how far back he pulled. Was he like, don't talk to me at all? But, we're doing all these things. We're going thrifting on the weekend and whatever.
Well, I feel like clearly he pulled back for a very good reason because she showed up at the spot.
I'm not justifying what she's doing. I'm just saying in her mind, maybe she was like, I'm showing him I'm all in. Yeah. We get in one argument. I don't know what it was about. And now he's like, I'm good. After I didn't let you drive my car, I didn't introduce you to my coworkers.
Well, he didn't say all that.
I just made that up.
Yeah.
Her feelings are probably hurt. That's the bottom line.
Clearly. And I don't know where she lived at, but she drove down. She was thinking about that. Parked in his driveway for over an hour waiting for this man to get home. He didn't finish the story. Because what I want to know was what the hell happened after. So, speaking of a shitty dates, Cheesecake Factory, go.
Okay. So, he was like, okay, let's go out on Monday. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. So we finally get to the Cheesecake Factory. It's like a nice guy, had a nice job. He didn't have any kids or anything. He had never been married.
So he was looking up. The checklist is like,
yeah, bing, bing, bing. Clean cut, seemed okay.
Okay.
I met him there because I never.
Yeah, you don't meet him at the spot.
So we're sitting there and we're ordering our food. And then he like takes out his retainer at the table. And I was like he could have went to the bathroom and did that. Like I didn't know. And he was like, oh, I just got this retainer. Yeah. That's gross. So I was like, whatever. So we ate dinner and it was like, first dates are weird. So then maybe like a week or two later, he invited me to his house.
Okay. Now you go into the spot.
But I did give all the information to my friends. I'm like, if you don't hear from me by this time, call the police.
All right.
I get to the house. He's like, hey, how you doing or whatever. And then he's like, he has a roommate. It's his brother. I'm like, so then I was like, can I use your bathroom? And he was like, let me go check it to make sure it's okay.
Okay. What's wrong with that? First of all, dude bathrooms look a lot different than...
But you invited me over here. Like, why wouldn't you think I'm going to come over here and eat and never use the bathroom?
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, this is probably things he wasn't really thinking. I'm not going to take points away from this man because he's probably like, look, let me double check this bathroom, make sure there ain't no stains in the toilet. I don't think that's a big deal. Anyway,
so he went to check the bathroom. He's like, okay. And I don't know what he was checking for because that bathroom was disgusting.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
So I'm like, so what did you check? Like,
I mean, there's no way he would have been able to clean up that bathroom that fast, but he just...
So I'm like, okay. Then he was like, well, let me show you around the house.
Got it.
Now, I feel like if you're going to show somebody around the house, like you've cleaned up, like you have...
He didn't clean up?
No.
He kept it 1,000 with you.
So I'm like, okay, like I'm stepping over stuff. And then he was like, this is my brother. So he opens his door like to his brother's room. Like it was kind of open already.
Yes.
His brother was like a large man.
What you mean, like 600 pounds?
Yeah.
That's not funny.
And he was laying on the bed and he was like, hey, Mark, this is Mareshah. I don't remember his name. And he literally just like grunted at me like, what are you doing here? Like, I didn't invite myself over here. Like, he didn't tell you I was coming. So that was awkward. So then we go downstairs. We're supposed to be watching a movie and he was supposed to cook.
It sounds like he had a nice sized house though. He had an upstairs and he had a downstairs.
But I mean, here everybody has upstairs and downstairs.
Hey, you don't take that for granted.
Okay.
Home ownership is a real thing.
So he's like, do you want a drink? And I'm like, no. So he pours himself a drink. And then we're like trying to find a movie.
This is before Netflix and chill. Was this DVDs?
This was DVDs.
Oh, what did y'all watch?
We didn't watch anything because he just kept drinking. And I don't know if he was nervous, but I was there maybe like an hour and a half before I was like, you know what? Let's just do this some other time. I mean, like a water glass full of like vodka. Ugh. But then I was like, why are you drinking so much? Like, then that's making me nervous. So I just left, and we never went out on another date. He tried, and that was just the retainer. He was just super awkward, and
gave up on your future husband, dog.
It was just so painfully awkward.
Looking at BuzzFeed, one of the dates that they had on there, this dude, he said he got set up on a blind date from some mutual friends. She shows up at a restaurant already tipsy. She orders multiple appetizers and only takes like 1 or 2 bites from each one. Then she proceeds to order more drinks and is drunk. So then she gets up, she says she's going to the bathroom, and now she's stumbling around all over the place. About 15, 20 minutes go by. Dude tries to call her several times, no answer. So he says, I'm just going to go ahead and pay this check and I'm going to leave. About 2 hours later, he's sitting at the house. He gets a call from an unknown number, and it just so happens to be the cops. I guess the chick was picked up on a DUI on her way home, and even though she ditched him, she gave the cops
his number.
Yeah, to come bail her out of jail.
No, ma'am.
Deal breaker. Back in the day when I was a single young tenderoni talking to a couple young fillies. That's what the old folks say. And so check this out, right? So I was supposed to...
Have I heard this story before? Is this new information?
No, this ain't new information.
Okay.
You've heard you've heard this information. You're about to be blown. No, you're not.
Like the Noki.
Right. So I had been talking to this girl, but I may have been talking to another girl as well, right? I mean, you're young. You're not expecting to get married like right off the top. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to have options. So your royal oats. I was feeling like Akeem. So bing bang. So this girl was like, hey, you want to meet me at this spot? And I was like, okay, cool. What time you want me to meet you there? So I pull up to a little spot. I had the little Beamer 320i. I had a little Tommy Hilfiger joint on. Jeans, little Nikes. So I'm feeling real fresh. Got the fresh fade going on. I'm looking real good. At least that's how I'm feeling at the point. I step out the car. I walk up in the restaurant. I just so happen to see some people that I already know. And they're like, hey, what's going on, Dom? What you doing here? And I'm like, yeah, I'm here to meet, so-and-so. And they was like, oh, okay, cool. Why don't you just go ahead and sit here with us, until she gets here. I'm like, all right, I'll just do that. So I slide in a little booth. They ordering little appetizers or whatever. I get a little Hennessy. So now, I'm sipping and we're having little conversations about what's happening in the world. We reach the time. The ETA had already expired. 20 minutes goes by, 30 minutes goes by. I hit the little text button. I'm like, hey, where you at? No answer. Another 10, 15 minutes goes by. I'm like, okay, she wilding now. So let me text her again. She's like, yeah, I'll be there. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. Okay, cool. So then I'm looking out the window because where we were sitting, you can see outside where the parking lot was at. Boom, the car pulls up. I see her step out. I'm like, all right, here she comes. I continue to talk. So bow, she walks in. In behind her walks a dude. She comes and she stands right in front of the table where I was at. And then the dude comes up and he stands right beside her. And then they start kissing. And I said, fuck is this? And she was like, oh yeah, I heard you been talking to my friend. Then she commences to tonguing this dude down once again. The guy was like, I stole your bitch. Who says that? Top 10 entrances and how you want to shit on somebody that you're supposed to go on a date with. You show up with somebody else, tongue them down, and then the guy hits you with the ill one-liner. I stole your bitch. I said, okay, well, thanks for the drink. And I got up, I hopped in the car, and then I left. I went to the club.
To a friend's house?
No, I didn't. I went to the club later on that night, and then, and then whatever happened, happened. I was a young man at the time, but the look, I'm thinking, like, has that ever happened to anybody? That's never happened to you?
No.
Okay.
I had somebody tell me while we were on a date that they don't like black girls.
That is foul.
So I was like, should I tell him?
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was like, should I tell him now?
So what do they think you were?
Or should I wait? I'm pretty sure he knew I was black. I feel like I can't hide
sure
that.
He wasn't like blind or something?
I don't know what that was about. But I mean, had been on dates.
And
like this wasn't, yeah, like we're having a good time. And then I don't know if that was just to let me know, like, this will never go further.
That is so foul. I think that's worse. I think that is way worse.
But can we talk about the shows?
Oh, one of the reasons why we brought this, we started talking about dating was the fact that she is obsessed with all these little dating shows. Or dating and relationship marriage shows, whatever it is. So you got your 90 Day Fiance, you got the joint with what's the Dominican dude name? The Dominican.
I don't really watch them that much because I don't like her.
But you were watching it anyway.
The family Chantel.
Pedro and Chantel. And then the new joints that come on now are
Love is Blind, which
Love
is
is
not
Blind.
new. They just finally came back with a second season. Ready to Love.
Ready to Love with Nephew Tommy. First, go ahead and hit Love is Blind, because I think that show is absolutely ridiculous.
So the premise of Love is Blind is you meet these people, but you never get to see them. So you're talking through this wall, you're in a pod. I think they date for 10 days, and at the end of the 10 days, you're supposed to propose and then get married 4 weeks later. So after you propose, that's when you finally get to see the person. Mm-hmm. So that's Love is Blind. So the first season, they had this couple, Cameron and Lauren. They were super cute. Like, everybody wanted them to stay together. And so far, they still are together.
Okay.
But this season, it's stressing me out. We were talking about this. Y'all can comment about this too. How moms will stay up late even though they're tired to watch the shows that they like because that's just their time. So I stay up late to watch Love is Blind because all the other time I have to watch Ryan and Coco Melon and stuff about dinosaurs.
It'll be 11:30 and we watching some Love is Blind.
But I need to see it. I need it. So yeah, that's on Netflix. So you can binge it. You don't have to wait. By the time this comes out, the last episode should be out.
Okay.
Maybe the reunion will be out by then. But these couples this time, one girl is straight up and down crazy. Every time they get together, she's just starting a fight.
Is this the one where the girl used to be supposedly big?
Yeah, she locked herself in the closet and cried.
Yeah.
So they finally see each other. They get to go on this little trip to Mexico. And she's feeling sick, so she doesn't get to go to the party with the other cast members. Mm-hmm. And so she's watching from the balcony and she gets upset, even though she told him to go. Mm. And then he comes home and he comes back to the room. He's telling her all about it. And she was like, I sat in the closet and cried for 3 hours. And how would you feel?
That's
and
ridiculous.
I don't trust you and I don't trust anything.
But these are individuals that only known each other for a couple of weeks, right?
10 days at this point.
So 10 days. So after 10 days, these folks have already proposed to each other. Now they're on a pre-marriage trip and she's already crying in the closet.
Yes.
Doesn't that sound like a deal breaker?
Yes. To me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that leads me to believe, and we had this conversation before, do you think that these dating shows, or at least this dating show in particular, is realistic or even good for people? Because this shit really seems like a social experiment to see if you can make folks connect after 10 days.
So I feel in some ways, when you're dating somebody, it's not necessarily about the quantity of time that you spend together. Yeah. It's the quality time. So if you're spending 12 hours a day dating, talking, asking questions, playing games, doing whatever. Yeah. I think it's a lot different than if you are dating somebody and you're going to work and you're paying bills and you're having to go to the gym and the grocery store and all this kind of stuff.
I get it.
But then they don't get to see you in the real world. So it's kind of
that I'm
being
with.
in a bubble.
But
I don't think it takes you a lot of time.
But 10 days though?
That might be
a little extreme. After 10 days, Did you know that you wanted to be with me?
Yes.
You are a whole liar and a half.
Plenty of other cultures believe in arranged marriages and they work. Like people are together, they end up falling in love. But I think that the families know the people well enough
And it's
to
different
say that they
because-
would be a good,
Fit.
yes.
But at the same time, like you said,
They're not just randos.
a lot of cultures, they're built for that. So like their mental is already squared away when it comes to that stuff. Whereas Americans, not so much. You know what I mean?
Are we trying to get there? Do you think with shows like this, like Married at First Sight?
No. I think with shows like this, they're trying to see how many train wrecks they can get. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what people really want to see. I don't think that people really want to see people succeed. Or if they have 7 couples and they all succeed, people are going to be pissed.
No.
They want to see one couple succeed and then the rest fall off the rails and then cause, a whole bunch of drama to where, a dude is lying to some woman, or something crazy. She finds out something crazy. Like she's like, oh, let me go meet his parents. And then you find out like his dad's Bill Cosby or some shit. So the other show that you watch is called Ready to Love. And it's one of the few shows that actually showcase all black folks, hosted by nephew Tommy. He was on Steve Harvey Morning Show? Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Is he really his nephew?
No, stop. Come on, man.
I thought he was.
No. This is his name,
Like
What up?
Snoop nephew.
Like, what
Okay.
up, yeah, what up, Aunt? What up, nephew?
Got it.
Anywho, yeah, it's one of the few shows that showcase, all black folks, but also, it's also one of the few shows that shows folks in their natural state for their most part, which means, when you watch these TV shows, if they're on MTV, whatever it is, like everybody's pretty, everybody looks like supermodels. Not on this joint. This dude's on it look like me, straight gut piece, dad bods, and that's a good look.
But the women are still,
Supermodel.
yes.
You can't win them all.
I would not say they are a sampling of what you would see every day.
But is that one more realistic? Does it feel more organic in terms of individuals actually finding relationships, love?
So what I don't like I like that show, but what I don't like about that show is people who are like, oh, I met this person, I like this person, I'm just going to talk to them.
Yeah.
They get voted off because it's like a majority vote. So if you only connect with one person
Yeah.
and only that one person has dated you, the other guy's going to be like, well, I don't have no connection with her, and you're going to get eliminated. So you have to date other people, even if you really don't want to. But there have been people who walked off. They'd be like, well, I found my person, like, we're out. But finding a person that you like and connecting with them and just focusing on them will get you kicked off the show. So if you don't want to get kicked off, but I mean, if you found your person, that's the prize.
Yeah.
Like you don't win money or anything at the end. So
you just get a chance
just to
to be
say-
with that individual. It's not
yeah,
like The
just to say
Bachelor.
you made it to the end.
Does a bachelor get money?
No.
What am I thinking of? Joe Millionaire or some shit? Well, I guess that kind of shows that, dating for the most part in this new age just seems to be all over the place. I myself would not want to have to deal with this. But when you read the articles and you read the stats, it probably makes it seem as if it's a little bit more difficult than it actually is. Because clearly people are dating. Clearly they're doing things out here in these streets.
Yeah. It's scary because you don't want to get rejected. Well, we didn't talk about how they said it was harder to date because of Me Too and stuff like that, which I think probably for men, they might feel more awkward to approach a woman in a respectful way because
Because they feel like they're sexually
If-
harassing somebody.
hashtag Me Too was out when I was out in the club. Like, those things were totally not acceptable. The things that people used to say and do, just grabbing you on the dance floor. Come here, girl. Like, no.
That's true.
Boundaries. Like I've been telling kids, don't be pulling all on me. Don't be.
But how many times has a dude pulled on you and you danced with him?
Probably never.
Really?
I don't like that. Don't be pulling on me.
I'm just saying, I've seen it many times where, they tap, hit the little tap. They, try to pull
A little
pull
tap.
girl. They try to pull a girl close, and I wouldn't say more often than not. It's probably 50-50 where I've seen a girl turn around, Because dudes know good and well, it always hinges on the fact if her friends think you're ugly.
No, that's just too aggressive. Don't be pulling out. You don't know me. Like, it's different. Like, if you know me and you see me and like then you pull me, I'm like, oh, it's you. But a rando, don't be pulling on me.
Because they be like, ill, girl. And then it's a wrap. Once you get hit with the ill by her friends, go home. But I think at the same time, Me Too, it may have made it a little bit more difficult for men, but at the same time, it may have made it a little bit easier because it kind of put the ball in the women's court.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it shouldn't have changed things because things were highly inappropriate. Maybe that's why it's so awkward. Like, are women feeling comfortable approaching men? Are men feeling uncomfortable approaching men?
I think women are way more comfortable talking to men now. We've had this conversation, but I've had this conversation with dudes to where they say that, I don't want to say that women are the new dudes, but the way that women talk and approach men is very masculine these days.
Yeah.
You know, some dudes like that. You know, they like women to be real forward. And
like, they're not leaving it to the man to decide where the relationship is going to go.
There you go. You said it way better than I did. But there you go, man. You got anything else?
Nope. I think that's it. I think we covered it all.
We hit a lot. We also hit a milestone. 3 episodes. 3 episodes. Didn't think we were gonna hit 3 episodes this year, you know, but you know, we made it happen. She's done with school now. I'm about to be done with school, so we're about to be in effect mode. We're about to make all this stuff happen. Thank you very much for tuning in, and anything that we talked about, we'll make sure that we post the links. So if you want to find ways to keep your marriage spicy, or if you need some new dating ideas, or if you want to read more about bad dates that many folks have had, then, you know, we'll make sure we post all that. And of course, we'll have music. You know, we always got a playlist to go along with our show, so that's dope as well. Peace.
We out.
Right.
Thanks for tuning in to Love, Life and Liquor. Make sure to like, subscribe and follow on all platforms. And be sure to tell the mandem about us.